It's appearing like crooked. That's the problem. Okay, I'm trying again, guys. I'm determined to figure this thing out. Okay, play. Is that working? That seems to be a bit better. Anyone there?
It's not on, I think.
I think it is. It says live. Maggie is helping me.
This isn't the live one though, that's the past one, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to see on the laptop. They can hear us, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see some viewers, so that's good. This time I think, yay, that's better.
Is it on?
I think that's working, right? Is it the right way around? Yay, it is the right way around. Thank you, Megan. Oops, sorry. I'm nervous now. That was not a very calm start. It's funny because there was a test bit in the beginning, and I did that. That seemed fine. Then obviously along the way, I must have clicked something and it ended up being the other way around. And then I lost connection. So that was fun. Nothing like a bit of panic. Okay, so it's been a long time since I did this, and yes, I am super nervous, but it will be fun. I've kept it pretty simple today, using just a few bits from the starter kit and the tag. The tag die and the Groovi plate, but I know some of you don't have the tag die and things, so that's fine. So then this morning, yeah, I should have probably tried to sort this out in the morning, but then I got a little bit distracted and I decided to make it into a card as well, just to show you that you don't necessarily need to make it into a tag. So yeah, so for anyone, there's a card option, and I'm just going to shift a little bit and see. My chair makes quite a racket, so I'm really sorry about that. I'm going to move the camera just ever so slightly towards. I probably shouldn't touch it, should I? Me and cameras are a definite no. No, I'm going to leave it because I know I'm going to make it crash again. Okay. Hi everyone. I'm just trying to read a few comments and things. I think some of you have joined me before, and I am not very good at reading comments and crafting at the same time, sort of thing. So I probably won't look at the comments till right at the end of the whatever it's called, the thingamajig, right? And if there's questions, pop them in. And then once the live's ended and later in the evening, I will go through the questions and try and answer them. And there was one more thing. Yes, should anyone join that we don't know and posting links and stuff, please don't click on them, because although I have tried to do the settings to a safety mode kind of thing, I don't know if it's worked, to be honest. And because I've restarted the live, it may have deleted my settings. So please do not click on any links if they pop up, because I know the first few times I did a live, there were all these spam links. So I wouldn't want anyone to get, viruses on your laptops or tablets or anything like that. Yeah, but if there is links from people we know one another on here, that is fine. I must really set up moderators as well. That's on my to-do list. I forgot this time. This was very much last minute sort of thing for me, wasn't it? I've been putting it off for so many months now. And it was, if I didn't do it this week, it was not going to start. So I thought, no, I've got to start it. Okay, so how are we doing? Are we ready to start, sort of thing? I'll waffle on as we go on, but let's get started. As I mentioned to some of well, not some of you, to everyone this morning. If you're joining me doing this tag, we're doing this tag, then I had asked, you know, if you wanted to cut the largest tag out. So it's the largest one on here. And oh my gosh, I've forgotten what I was trying to say again. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Yes, my brain is singing again. Never mind. I'm sure it will come to me. So largest tag, some of you don't have the tag. So for the card, if you're thinking of making the card, I have used on this card the 5th largest square, if I can remember. I'm pretty sure it's the 5th largest. And I wanted it to be a small card, so I've put it on a 5x5. But if you wanted a slightly larger card, so for example, if you wanted the arch a bit more, use maybe the 4th largest nested square from your starter kit. So, you know, that's an option for some of you. I am going to change my color tones this time. It's always, you know, we always say that when you're not sure about what color options and what backing papers and things, what will go together, we always recommend you cut out, you choose your backing paper first. This way, you've got your colors happening there. So for the tag itself, as you can see, I've gone pastels on this, but for this one, I'm going to go super bright. It's sort of a cloudy day here, and I think I need some happy colors happening. So I'm going for super bright autumny colors, although I'm a bit backwards or forward. I'm thinking future autumn instead of past autumn. But I really love the combinations of yellows and oranges and reds. So that's what I am doing. So I'll choose my colors according to my backing paper. What else? So you need to, I mean later, not now, cut out the tag the same size, the largest tag of your backing paper. But you're going to cut out 2 from your cardstock, 1 for your backing paper, and 1, when we've put everything together, we need to seal the brads at the back. So that will go to the back. So to show you on this, that's the front with the backing paper in there. I have used the Amazonia, what are they called? The little cards. The Amazonia... I should probably grab it, shouldn't I? Designer card, that's it. This one. So that's what I've used, the designer card, because it's a nice thickness for the tags. So that's what I've used. And the one for the pastel one is Amazonia. And for the bright one, it is Shenandoah. So as you can see on the back, the plain white card has sealed my brads. Yeah. So 2 out of cardstock. You're going to need to start off with is, if you have your A5 plate made to fit the tags Groovi plate, corresponding Groovi plate, you're going to place your tag over the top like this. I should have probably said some sort of introduction, right? As to what we are doing. We're making a tag out of Groovi and Groovi plates, and I've lost my tabs, my Groovi tabs. They were here, honest. Oh, I was so organized till I crashed the live, and now I don't know what I've done with my Groovi tabs. This is why we should always leave the Groovi tabs on the Groovi guard when we've finished using them, because then there's always a few. Hold on a sec, chat amongst yourselves while I grab some Groovi tabs from somewhere else. Bear with me, I am here, disappearing into the background somewhere. I will be back. Just talk amongst yourselves. I got them. Well, I got a few 100. Okay. So, Groovi tabs. Let me grab a few and put them on my Groovi guard so I know I can easily reach them this time when I need them. Okay, there we go. That should do for the moment. Okay, so you want, if you're just starting off new, some of you may not have, you may have your starter kits but not open them as yet. In your starter kit, you will have the A5 square plate mate, and that looks like this one here with a A5 window, A5 square window. Because we're starting off with the tags the tags Groovi plate, that is a different shape. That is A5 rectangle. So that's why for the moment, just until I get an outline around my tag, I have got the plate mate that sits the something, the tag. Okay, so you want to make sure you can read Groovi the right way up, yeah, because that's the side that the plates are laser etched and have got the grooves. So I'm just going to line it up to the corresponding tag, which is the largest, and I'm going to stick the parchment down with the Groovi tabs so it doesn't move around as I am embossing the lines. Sorry, it's just shifted a bit. Oh my gosh, my hands are really shaky. One should stay off too much caffeine, I think. All right, here we go. The other thing is, if you haven't opened your starter kit as yet, there's a tumble dryer sheet in there. You want to take your tumble dryer sheet and wipe it, the dry tumble dryer sheet, and wipe it on the parchment. Try and not get it on the plate because it leaves the waxy residue, and the Groovi tabs then lose the stickiness. So I'm trying to stay within the parchment. I'll turn my plate round and do the same there. Trying to stay. I should have probably wiped it first before I stuck it down onto the plate. I always forget to do that. I always stick it down and then think, oh my gosh, I should have wiped it first with the tumble dry sheet. So what we're going to do is we're going to emboss the lines. So in your starter kit, there's the number 1, there's the number 2 tools. They're labeled in there. One has the one that has no ball on it, and number 2 has a tiny ball. For this project itself, I am using just the number 1 tool to give me the crisp white outlines. But if you because I know some of you have been doing parchment for a while, so if you're going to do embossing on your flower petals and on your circles, you may want to use your number 2 tool for those elements. So I'm just pressing into the groove and embossing inside there. I'm pressing, maybe it's a little bit difficult to explain. Like, for example, if I had a biro that was not working very well and I needed to press it a little bit harder, so to speak. So I'm pressing about that much. I don't generally tend to emboss in one go, but I know some of you can do that. So anything that works for you, I go over a few times. So I'm turning the work around. Now, generally, when I am doing Groovi, there's a bit of fluff on something and it's annoying me. I think it's stuck to my plaster. I have my light wave on, but I'm aware that some of you don't have a light wave, so I'm using it just on the hard side of the embossing mat that's in your starter kit. I'm trying to find the best ways the parchment. So I've got the Groovi Guard, and what the Groovi Guard, Groovi Guard over the parchment, what it's doing is it's stopping the parchment from moving as I'm embossing these lines. Everyone, I mean, should have a Groovi Guard, to be honest. You know, I think I have got quite a few of them because I use it for absolutely everything to stop me getting icky fingers on everything. Well, not on everything, on my parchment. I've moved the tabs a little bit, and now I can get to these bits that have been missed. So I'm just going to rub the tumble dryer sheet in just that area and continue embossing. Am I staying in on the camera thing? I can't see. I haven't looked up to see whether I'm staying within the screen of the thing or not, which I probably should look, shouldn't I? Let my laptop just catch up a bit so I can see whether I am staying within the camera. It's a bit hard for me to see. Okay, I think I am. I really think that maybe, you know, it would be so good if there was a voice thing on the Facebook Lives. That way, at least then someone can actually say it and say yes or no, or answer, you know, to some of the weird things I ask, to be honest. That way I have an instant thing to see whether I have stayed within the camera, for example, window or not. Because I'm not good at reading comments while I'm doing this. So that's the tag. If I move the outlines, if I move those out of the way, whoopsie daisy, almost went flying crash. So that's the back, and there's our front. So we've got the double outline on there. That is the only thing we are using the tag. No, actually we will use it in a minute again. But, oh, no. She's telling little fibs because we need to have our greeting. So I'm going to, actually, you know what? I'm going to move the plate mate out of the way because my laptop is really close to where the plate is at the top and it's hitting it. So I won't be able to get the tag in, the full tag in. So what the plate mate does is, I don't know if you can see, and you know, you should really use the plate mate. Can you see the overhang here where the plate ends and the parchment continues? If I press too hard, I am going to get a crease mark there. Now the plate mate would stop that from happening. You know, it lets your parchment sit flat, which is great. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to have to be super careful that I don't go pressing on this edge here. So I'm just going to line it up so it's about straightish. You can put it wherever you want. I'm putting it about a third of the way up. And Groovi tabs to stick that down. I'm going to put special occasions on the tag. There we go. You know what? Actually, I'm going to turn it around. I'm probably safer turning it around, and I'm going to write it upside down like this. But don't worry, because on the front it will be the right way around. I'm just turning the plate over, so I'm not leaning on this here. I have done that so many times when I've been lazy and haven't used a plate mate and then creased it. So it's better I turn it. So I'm just embossing in the writing. You can put you can use any plates you have at home of greetings you may have. It was just easier for me because, like I said, I planned this so late that it was just easier to go with what was on the tags plate. Now, the Facebook Lives, like, you know, I will do them once a month. and my base will always be a tag, various sizes depending on what I want to include in the tag itself. So for example, if I'm going to be doing a lot of picot cutting, perforating and picot cutting, I might make a smaller tag because then that takes a bit longer to finish. I never put the end time for tags, the Facebook Live tags, because I know I'm bound to overrun. So now I just say till I finish. Some of you may not be able to stay till the end. That is fine, because if I press the right buttons, hopefully it will be uploaded somewhere. I really should have checked that first as well, shouldn't I? To be honest. Too many things I need to... I need a manager. Anyone want to offer to become a manager for me? Okay, so I've done that. I'm going to leave it on the plate here and on the plate here. So if I turn it around to show you what it looks like so far, there you go, nice crisp white outlines on the tag. I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to bring the plate in again, and I'm going to turn it this way because I want to create a panel for the words to sit on. So there we go. As a matter of fact, what did I do with my... Do you know what will be easier and straighter is to get the nested squares from your starter kit and just flip through the folder and grab it out of there. Okay, because that will get it straighter for me. So now I want the A5 square plate mate that's in your starter kit. Remembering, if you can read Groovi side up, you're on the right side. Bring in the tag because you get the exact sizing. Can you see? So I'm fitting the lettering between two of the straight lines, and I can judge whether I'm straightish because one of these grooves will sit perfectly into any of those lines, to be honest. I need to go slightly higher, so I've got enough space there, and well, not enough. I've got about the same spacing on both sides. So there we go. And that's set there. And I'm going to grab this, stick it down there, stick it down there, and get me a tumble dryer sheet again, and I'm going to just give it another wipe. Okay, I have got pencil grips on my tools. In case some of you are wondering, I've just got pencil grips because I find it easier to hold. So I'm going to hold it down there with my Groovi card and emboss that top line there. Bring the Groovi card down and emboss this line here. There we go. Do I need to stop for a bit? How is everyone doing? You're probably faster than me, to be honest. I'm all clumsy. Okay. Shall I continue? So I'm swapping my plate for the butterfly wreath. Yeah. So we've got this so far. So butterfly wreath. Now the butterfly wreath. Now, let me get the tag itself. That makes more sense. You can see I decided to have my little bit of the circle on this side. So one of the things you need to remember is that you're working on the back. So if you want, so for example, on the front, I'm not explaining this very well, am I? I want this circle on this side, which is on the left. So on the back, which is the side we're working, we need to have it on the left. So you're mirroring it. Yeah. So I'm going to have it there. You can decide which part of the wreath you want. So for me, I think it's going to go across this way. I want some of it to come across there. And actually, let me show you the card as well. Can you see on the card, maybe if it was a bigger card, you would get more of the wreath, the part of the wreath happening here. Over here, I've got very little of the wreath happening. I'm okay with that personally, but if you wanted more of the wreath showing, have your card a little bit bigger. Yeah. Whereas the tag is longer, so you can get more of the wreath there. So I'm going to have it about there, I think. And I'm going to stick it down. So let's stick it out of the way here. And out of the way there. Okay, at this point, like I said, so for example, they're going to be, if you've been doing parchment for a while, or you want to add in your embossing and things like that, you may want to, if you're going to emboss your circles, emboss those with your number 2 tool. If you're going to emboss your flowers, then use your number 2 tool. I am going to just basically focus on just the line art and the coloring. So that's why I'm going to continue with the number 1 tool, but I'll let you guys decide, you know, whether you're going to add extra to your tags. So I'm going to start off with embossing part of this circle, just there, and then start embossing the floral design. So now it's just, we've got our basic framework done and everything, so it's just following the design and grooving. This is the fun bit, the relaxing bit. So, and I think I've said it so many times, I just absolutely love just doing the line art, sitting and coloring, especially when I'm super stressed and I don't want to do anything, I wouldn't say anything stressful, because for me parchment is not stressful, but anything that will take up too much time. If I want to do something relatively quick, pretty, then line art and coloring is definitely my go-to thing. Last couple of days I've barely slept. It's just my mind wouldn't switch off. So my son flew to Kerala yesterday, and it's the first time actually he was traveling on his own. And I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Of course, he has to do it at some point, of course, but I'm not sure when he grew up to start traveling on his own. I don't know when that happened, because in my head, I'm still like about, I'd like to say 5, but that wouldn't be true, would it? I'd say about 15, because I still throw teenage tantrums very often. So I'm like, how do I have a son who's traveling on his own abroad? But because he's traveling for the first time, he has no clue about changeover flights or, you know, filling out various forms and things. So it was like making a list of things, you know, I must tell him, I must remind him, I must do this. He's absolutely capable of doing it all himself, but I think, I don't know, I think it's the mommy head in me that's like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So yeah, and then he had a stopover, so a couple of flights stopover, and I have to say, it's not just him, but I do, if anyone is coming to visit, for example, I track their flights, because I just love watching all this fly. I mean, not necessarily track their flights, but once I'm on that app, I click on other planes, you know, and see where they're going. It's sad, isn't it? This is what my life comes to in the middle of the night when I can't sleep. And then, you know, sometimes you hear things like, oh, did anyone see this on the app? It's a UFO. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to go look for a UFO. As a matter of fact, Dylan was saying, Mom, that doesn't sound like a good way of having fun. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Guess everyone's idea of how they fall asleep at night is different, right? I'm waffling, yeah. How's everyone getting on? Oh no, Sue, I just read your butterfly has flown away, has it? Your butterfly plate. Is there another plate you can use for the moment? Any floral design. I looked up and there was, like you mentioned, your butterfly wreath plate has flown away. So, and then I got a lovely call this morning from him. Oh, I'm back to my son, aren't I? And he was showing me the view of where he's staying with a friend. And oh my gosh, I think I want to move. There was the sea just outside the apartment, and it was such a pretty, cozy apartment by the look of it. I would seriously love to move. It was so beautiful. But then on the other hand, I think I would prefer to move the whole scene to where I am at the moment rather than me move there, if only that was possible, right? So I know he's got there, everything is good. So yeah, other than that, what have I been doing? Not much, just the usual. I've done quite a bit of groovy things recently, which is nice, but I've got a journal, a diary. Beginning of the year, I thought I would start a diary and write down stuff. I used to write a lot, and then it sort of stopped along the way. So this year I thought, okay, I'm going to start writing a diary, like day-to-day stuff and just bits and pieces. But obviously my diary didn't have just words. So I've been stamping on it, sticking stickers on it, and just having fun on it. And of course, every now and then fitting in the writing, which is what I started it for, to be honest. I've got a gratitude journal, which is lovely because every day I write down things that I'm thankful for. And most of the days it's just simply, very simple things that I think most of us don't think about on a every day. It's there, we appreciate it, but we don't say it out loud, which has really helped me now to write things down. So that's good. So I enjoy that. I enjoy a lot of crochet. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you do a lot of crafts. What other crafts do you do? Do you guys keep a diary? I've been wanting a happy planner for months and months and months. So this year, my Christmas gift and birthday gift to myself was a happy planner. And I just absolutely am enjoying I think more than anything, sticking stickers. So there we go. How is that? That is what I have got so far. Am I in the middle? I don't know. I'm hoping I'm in the middle. So that's what we've got so far. Where is my tag? Let me try and find my tag. So there we go. Here's the tag. It's pretty much identical, actually. I should have shifted it a little bit to move the flowers so have different flowers, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. So we've got the wreath. We've got the words. In here, you've got options of what you want to fill it with. So, for example, going back to the wreath itself. There we go. You can choose any of the flowers and put 3 flowers into that circle, any of the flowers. So move your tag around and see what you like. Having said that, I'm just about to change my mind, as one does. You can see on here I have, so on this one I have used this flower here. Yeah, on the tag here I have used this flower here. On the card I have used this flower here. Yeah, it's really weird because I am looking on the laptop at the same time and it's way behind, so it's sort of kind of like confusing me. I mean, it doesn't take much to confuse me, but so I'm thinking, like I said, I've changed my mind of what I am doing. You guys can go ahead, if you decide to put flowers, go ahead and just put 3 flowers into here. Decide the 3 flowers. You can have 3 different flowers if you wish. You can have the same flower. Put 3 flowers, and you're going to use your nested squares to draw stems along here. Yeah, just stems coming down, because, well, I guess flowers will need the stems to ground them somewhere. But like I said, I've changed my mind. I'm not putting flowers. I am going to put a little tiny landscape in there. So I'm bringing my landscape plate in, and let's put it the right way up. That would be good. There we go. And I'm going to choose, maybe, let's have the mountains here. Because if I have the mountains here, I can have the sun here. Yeah. So that's what I am doing. That's really sad, isn't it? I really shouldn't change what what I said I'm going to do something completely different. Because now I'm probably confusing myself and you guys along the way, aren't I? I love this landscape plate. I think it's just so pretty. So again, with the number 1 tool, my glasses would help. So number 1 tool, and I am going to emboss the mountain up to the outline. Mountain here. And here. And I think I need a sunrise. So I'm going to use the small one. So it's sort of coming, oh yeah, rising from behind the mountain. And there we go. So you want to stop where the outline is, the previous outline is. So it will appear as it's behind. There we go. Okay, how are we doing? I quite like that actually. There we go. So I've got a little landscape there. Are we good? I'm just going to take a sip of my water and wait for everyone to catch up. I'm hoping, Sue, you found your plate. What did I do with my tag for my colors? So like I said about the backing paper, I like to choose my backing paper first, and it's usually very helpful to put the backing paper somewhere where you know you're not going to lose it. So when you come to the coloring part, you know exactly what you're going to do. amongst yourselves again, please. Oh, found it. Actually, I'd put it somewhere safer safer than safe. This is why I couldn't find it. If it was in a non-safe place, I would have found it first. So this is the backing paper I am using. I'm going to use both Perga colors, Perga color exclusives, which are the felt pens. And I'm going to use the Perga liner B pencils as well. Yes, so the Perga color exclusive pens are water-soluble felt pens. I just love these. The colors on there are absolutely gorgeous. For anyone who's not seen them, I don't know if you can, am I even facing it the right way? There we go. That's a bit better, right? Some beautiful colors in there. I mean, these are my go-to felt pens for absolutely everything because I just love those colors in there. And the Perga liner B pencils are oil-based pencils, so you can use the watercolor felt pens and the B pencils hand in hand. And for a lot of projects, I use them both. For the softer color, I'll use the B pencils for my background large area work. And then for like the little elements that I want a bit more vibrancy, for example, I will use the felt pens to add. One of the things to remember about felt pens is that if you have very large areas, for example, if I was to color this mountain with a felt pen, I will get streak marks. So, you know, for large areas, I would always recommend use your Perga liner B pencils and then Dorso oil to blend it. Your polychromos, if I know a lot of you have polychromos, they will work in exactly the same. So you'll drop the color and then blend it with your Dorso oil. But for the smaller elements, your felt pens are absolutely fine. As a matter of fact, this flower here, you know, I did, should I use B pencil? Should I use felt pens? Because for me, this is large flower for felt pens. And I did get a little bit of streaking happening on here. I don't, it's probably a bit difficult to see actually. I don't know, let me grab, I don't, can you see it? I think you can see it if it's sort of right in front of you. But because I knew I was using the designer card at the back, which already has that marbled effect, even if there was streaking on the flowers, it's not going to matter. As well as flowers do have like the veins and things, right? So, you know, you get away with the streakiness because it just looks like veins on the flower petals. So I went ahead and did them with the felt pens. The lighter the felt pen color you use, the less streakiness you will see. So she says, so now that I'm using this card, which is super bright, and that means I need felt pens that are super bright. So I'm going to have the orange. I am going to have the red. I'm going to have a yellow. Which yellow should I go with? Let's go with the warm yellow. And the yellow there. I think I'll start off with those colors and then see how I get on. The green I need for the leaves. So those are the colors I'm going to color my flowers with. One of the other things is that if I bring in the tag, for example, to show you, can you see the background on here? Now that background, to separate the main tag from this circle and the banner, I've used the B pencils on the backgrounds there just to give it that separation. So on this one, now that I've done a landscape, I'll have a few colors in there as opposed to just the one color in there. On this one, I had just the one color to keep it simple. But this one has mountains and things, so I'll use different colors on this one using the B pencils. But I'm going to start off with the felt pens. Now, if you have a light wave, definitely, you know, when you're coloring, that really helps because you can go right up to the edge with your coloring. Sometimes when you're turning it around, I'm going to color on the back. I wouldn't say we always color on the back because there are instances we can put extra color on the front. or do your coloring on the front, but I'm coloring on the back. And you know, if I'm working on the black mat, there are a lot of times I don't make it right up to the edge, whereas if I have my light wave on, I know I can go right up to the edge. So for this occasion, I am going to turn on my light wave, but if you don't have a light wave, don't worry about it. You know, just work on the hard side of your embossing mat. Make sure you're on the hard side, because if you press and you're on the soft side by any chance, then what's going to happen is you may end up embossing if you press too hard with the, I don't like this light somewhere. There's this from the spotlight above, and that's annoying me. So now I'm thinking, where is the spotlight so I can cover it? There. I'm going to leave that there because I don't like that spotlight. It's distracting me. Let's stick the tag down there so it doesn't move. This is very sad, isn't it? There we go. Now I don't see the spotlight, and hopefully you can't see the spotlight, right? Okay, so let's start. I don't know, colors. So my flower colors are basically going to be, okay, do you know what? It's easier to start with the leaves because I know my leaves are going to be green, right? So I'm just going to start with the green. So your felt pens, if you've got Perga Color Exclusives, you've got the fat end and then you've got the thin end. I am going to go with the thin end here. So for example, so I'm just going, so on the back, I'm just going in there and coloring it in because I like this sort of coloring. Takes me back to childhood, right? Where you just sit there, pick up your felt pens and just color. And then this, see, this leaf is quite large. So I'm going to turn it round. And which way should I come? Let's come this way. So I'm going to put the Groovi guard. So it, again, you see the Groovi guard will keep your paper down as you're doing something. So there we go. The windows on the guard really help. So that was a large leaf. So I've just turned it to the thick end of my felt pen. So I've gone back to the thin end, and now if you have large areas and you're doing coloring with felt pen, sometimes it takes a couple of seconds for it to dry. So just be aware that you need to give it some time. And if you've got new felt pens, they'll probably be a bit juicier than what I have at the moment. So, you know, give it a couple of seconds for that to dry. They do dry pretty quickly, but still on larger areas, sometimes they take, you know, just those few seconds extra. So there's lots of greens in the set. I'm just to keep it simple, I'm just using the same color on all the leaves. And if I'm going on the white outline, it doesn't matter because I'm on the back. And on the front, basically, it is going to you'll still have your crisp white outlines. So don't worry too much about it and just enjoy the coloring process. And you can see I like to keep turning, I like to turn my work as I'm working. As I'm working. That sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? Okay, I think that is all the leaves. If I find more, I will do them then. So now the red is a very bright color, and for me personally, I don't want too many red flowers because I think it will take over on the whole tag because of how bright the color is. So I think majority of my flowers will probably be orange, especially this large one. So And you may see that it's going to look a little bit streaky because this is quite a dark color. But I'm not too bothered because, like I said, flower petals do have veins. Veins? Yeah, veins. But if you're worried about the streakiness, then you may want to use your Pergolina B pencils to color these large flowers. And you can see I am actually going quite a bit onto that white outline. I should really try and be a bit more careful, shouldn't I? It's okay. The idea is to have fun, right? And, you know, again, when you're coloring as well, keep turning your work. There we go. So that flower there, I think this one I might go with the red. This is a large flower, so I'm going to go with the orange for it again. Which way shall I go? Okay. Here there is quite, can you see this band between there and there? If I start coloring halfway here, when I go all the way around, it's going to meet here and you're going to see that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to start from here and go all the way across there. So I don't have that halfway point and then continue around. Have I gone off the screen? I should probably have a marker on my matte and light box to show where the middle is, shouldn't I? Oh, I keep wanting to move this tag from the side, but then I remembered that's where the light reflection is. There we go. I think I want one more, and I am going to go with these here. I mean, it's up to you which flowers you want to color in what colors. That's absolutely up to you. And what shades. I until recently, I used to do everything in super bright colors. But for some strange reason, these days I'm really drawn to pastel shades. So a lot of things I make, I'm using the sort of pastel shades. I think we all go through phases like that, don't we? Where suddenly we like other colors or... So this one I'm going to do red. Can you see how much I'm going on to that white outline? I probably really need to slow down. I think, you know, with the Groovi system, it's just such a clever idea. I mean, it's just awesome. And because the outlines are super crisp and everything, when you turn it around, even though you've gone on the white outline, you know, you don't see it on the front. Your white outlines still remain white, which is great. That, you know, on most days I'm not stressing over my coloring that I've done on the back, because I know it's going to be pretty no matter what. Before I forget, from next month, I'm going to actually shift the Facebook Lives to the second week of the month instead of the first week of the month. We'll have it on the second week of the month. It will be the same time, 2 to whenever I finish, basically. Unless, of course, something happens in life, as it usually does, then I may need to cancel, but hopefully that won't happen. So we'll do it the second Saturday, and it will be recorded and put onto the page anyway for anyone who can't make it and wants to join in, watch it later to create the tag. I might come back to the orange and the red in a bit once I've colored a few other things. So with my yellow, definitely my flower center, I want yellow. I love this yellow, sunshine yellow. So the yellow is number 2. I probably should have told you the numbers, right? Orange was 23. Red was 7, green was 16, and the yellow is number 2. I think I'm going to color this as well. Lello. Maggie used to say Lello, which was just ever so sweet. Every now and then I'll come out with that as well, because, you know, after a while I forgot to say yellow. So then I would say Lello. And then you have the adults in the room staring, like thinking, what are you talking about? Basically, I'm just coloring anything, any color that takes my fancy. And it's gone quiet, right? Am I supposed to just keep talking? I don't know how these things work. I mean, I think I'm supposed to keep talking, but I'm thinking, when I'm thinking, I can't talk at the same time. I've got these two things, and I'm sort of debating what color to use. I could be here for a while. You continue using yours. Should I go with, do you know what? I'm going to make life simple and just go with Lello. No, because my son is Lello. Is that going to be too much Lello? Dumpty dumpty dum. Yeah, it's going to be too much Lello. She says, having changed her mind, she's going red. So, anyone got any exciting plans for the weekend? I have none. Like I said, Dylan's gone, which means my kitchen is closed. One day it's going to be popcorn for dinner. One day it's going to be toast for dinner. One day it's going to be packet noodles for dinner. One day it's going to be, I don't know, some sort of burger from outside for dinner. One day it's just going to be cookies and tea for dinner. And repeat till he comes back. When he goes, the kitchen is definitely closed. There was a time he used to get super excited when I said there was chicken for dinner. Now he gets super excited when I say there's salad for dinner, which is just really weird. So Megan eats anything, you know. Megan's usually first question is there any leftovers? Because she doesn't like to have things in the fridge for too long, and definitely doesn't like to throw things away. I mean, even I don't throw food away. So she's sort of like, is there anything for dinner? Is there any leftovers? Okay, that's all my felt pens done. So now I'm going to come to this and this. If you have done flowers in your circle, color your flowers in with the felt pens. And let me bring the card in. So there you go. Can you see the flowers I've done in a felt pen? and then we'll go over it. Like I said, because they are water-soluble felt pens, they will not react when we use the Dorso oil for the background. So don't worry about that. You know, you can lay it over the top, use your Dorso oil. It's not going to smudge the felt pen work. So color in your flowers if, you know, you have flowers in there. For me, because I've got larger area here of just landscape, I'm going to go ahead and color the landscape. Now I should have probably introduced some brown on the leaves here, because my mountains are going to be sort of brown along there, but I am thinking instead of brown, shall I make it like a fantasy kind of thing? Decisions. No, I'm going to stick to brown because there's brown on my tag here. I think I'm going to stick to a bit of brown, and I might do my double outline here with the brown felt pen as well. So that will bring it, you know, if you say, for me, if I've introduced a different color in my work, I like to make sure I've got it somewhere else in my finished project rather than one on its own, unless it is a feature. If it's a feature, you know, then that's fine. But for me, I for the landscape, because I have brown, I do want to introduce the brown somewhere else. So, you know, I'll do my double outline in brown. But for the moment, I'm going to go with the brown. So I'm using the B pencils. These are the blendable pencils. So this is B13, which is much more a reddy, sort of a purpley brown rather than brown, if that makes sense. There's the B12, which is like a light brown. I might have my lower here as a hill, so I'm going to have that as green, which is B15, and then my sun is Lello, and I'm going to go with B9 for the Lello. Oh gosh, I'm about to introduce blue as well. Oh, that's okay. Blue is good because I'll do the banner blue. Yeah, so I'll bring in some of that blue into this blue. So for the blue, I am using 4. Yeah, number 4. Okay, so let's start. Now, I am going to start with coloring with my green, which is the B15, my lowest tail here. And you can see I'm just coloring it in. At the moment, it won't look like much, but once we blend it, you'll be able to see the colors better. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a bit of the lighter brown, which is the B12 here, second hill, and then the third hill is going to be the other sort of the purpley brown, which is such a pretty color. And usually if I don't know what color to make something, this is the color I go for, because it's just really pretty. It's like a wine color, but sometimes it can be a bit too purple. So I don't know how it's going to work. We'll see once we blend it and then fiddle with it later. That was, sorry, what color did I use that? That was B13, the top hill here. My sun is Lello. There we go. And then my sky is blue. And you can see I'm not being too careful. I'm just coloring it in, because when we blend this, it will go nice and smooth. I mean, I'm sure there's, should I be saying a right way of doing this? I'm really bad at doing things the right way sort of thing. Most of the time I'm making things up. You know, as a child, I was so obedient. I followed rules as they were supposed to be followed. I never ever got in trouble in school always did my homework and everything properly. I was a very good girl, which is, you know, looking back, I'm like, wasted childhood. One detention would have been good to remember, wouldn't it? I think I'm making up for all that now, because now I'm really rubbish at following rules. So, like I said, because I put the blue in the sky, I wanted to introduce the blue somewhere else. So I decided to go with the banner being blue. But, you know, it really doesn't matter. It's just what I'm doing. You go ahead and have fun. More than anything, you know, just enjoy the process. So there we go. I'm going to bring the Groovi mat and put it over that just to show you so far what it looks like. Can you see that's what the tag looks like so far? So you can't see this much, but as soon as I blend that, that is going to really pop. So I'm going to turn that around. And I am going to get my Dorso oil. So here's some Dorso oil, which I'm going to put a drop of on my spot-on sponge. There we go. Now, some of you, like I said, have probably got flowers in your little circle bit. So you may have colored the whole thing. So you're just going to blend the whole thing as I'm about to do each section. And I'm probably making a lot more work than I needed to. So I've put a drop on the spot-on sponge. And I generally tend to have, you know, a few nibs in different colors. They come in packs. Oh, that's not very good with the light wave, is it, to show you? So there we go. So they come in packs like this of 10, and as you can see, you know, whoopsie daisy, you can see I've got different colors of nibs. And generally at some point, I know for me, they all turn either brown or green or something, you know, but I'm really bad at getting rid of them. I still use them because you can almost wipe them with the Dorso oil and use them for other things. The only thing I would say is, you know, keep your yellow separate. So the nibs fit in a holder. Now these are out of stock at the moment. They're going to have them back in stock soon. So the nib just slots in there. I'm going to use it for my demos on here. But if you don't have one of the holders, what you can do is just take the nib. You're going to touch it on the Dorso oil and you're going to blend. I probably got too much oil. And little round movement. And you can see the color beginning to spread. Now, if you get too much oil, it's going to take the color off. If you get too little oil, it's not going to blend. It will still be grainy. Is that the word? Like you'll see the pencil marks. But the really nice thing about the pens, you know, using pencils is it's fixable. So, you know, if you get too much oil, just dab the oil off the nib onto some tissue and put some more color in. So say if I took most of that off, put some more color and blend. Don't get any more oil on your nib though, and it will blend. It will be fine. If it's too dry, touch the nib on a bit more oil and continue blending. So there we go. And do turn your work so you can go right up to the edge of the coloring. Now, although I'm using the light wave, let me just show you the difference if I was to color without the light wave. So if I put This is just, you know, if you don't have one and you want to put it on your bucket list, I'll show you the difference, you know, without a light wave. And then you can decide whether you want to put it on your Christmas list or birthday list. Or so I've put the nib into the pen holder because it'll just make it easier for me to do this, and a lot quicker, especially if some of you are already waiting for me to get on with this. I need a bit more oil to move that. So as much as I think I'm going right close to the edge, well, I think I have. You see, if I turn it around, there we go. Yeah, that's the front now, and you can see the difference there where I have not blended yet, and those where I have blended, they're beginning to pop now. But if I turn that round, if I put that on the light wave, now you can see where I haven't quite gone to the edge. So I can just touch it up. So you can see why, you know, if you've got a light, if you've got a light wave, why you should use it when you're coloring. If you don't have a light wave, why you should think about investing in one. So I'm going to continue with the light wave on, and oopsie daisy, my yellow went flying to the other end of the room. Don't even ask me how I managed that one, but I did. Okay, so the yellow, can you see I haven't got enough oil? It's not moving. I don't know if you can see. Even though I touched it, it's not moving. So I need to touch just a bit more to get it to shift. There we go. So from April, I'm looking to restart my workshops again, which will be good. Those I'll probably do on the first Saturday of the month, she says. I haven't thought that far, to be honest, because it's still ages away. I mean, it's great to panic last minute, isn't it? I should probably sort it out from now, really. There's lots of things I want to do. I think in the last year, looking after mom and things, you know, I haven't got around to doing as many things as I would like to. But recently, it's like I would like to, and I miss the company. I miss, you know, being with people who have the same interests and who enjoy the same things. You know, I call them basically, you know, all of you are my tribe. So I miss being with everyone. So I was just having a word with my sisters that, you know, I think once a week I need to take that time off and, you know, not go to the care home, because otherwise, if neither of the sisters are here, then I go to the care home every afternoon for a few hours. And I think I just need that time off. I'm not sure about this brown. I don't quite like it. So I don't know if I don't like the brown with the rest of the colors happening here, or there's something about it that just doesn't sit very well. But I'm going to go with it since, you know, I've started it. I'm going to put a bit more to make it a bit darker. And you can do that with the pencils, which is great. You know, if you're just starting off and you're not sure what you should use, then always, you know, I always say that I think pencils are the most forgiving start. What I'm doing is I'm using the other brown, this brown here, which is 13, to put just a bit more on the top. And what that will do is that will make it a little bit of that color too. So it won't be like a completely different brown, if you see what I mean. I think it will, yeah, that's a better color. There we go. See, again, with the pencils, you can do that. I've just, you know, changed the color from what was on the pencil to make one that I'm happier with, which goes a lot nicer with the rest of the design. These lives, I mean, even previously, where they were not really geared for, you know, a specific level that you may be at. You can follow them and do, you know, follow the design itself and work at the level you feel comfortable at. So some of you may be very experienced and may have embossed these flowers. Some of you may be just, not just a beginner, because to be honest, I just love this work, and you may be advanced, but you may like just sometimes to just sit and enjoy the designs for what they are. So on a Saturday afternoon, take the stress away and do something nice and pretty. Am I spending too long doing this? Okay, I'm not sure about that green either. Or do I like that green? No, do you know what? I'm spending too long doing this, aren't I? So I'm going to go with it. It will all work out in the end. And also, once I put it on the designer card itself, those colors are going to look very different, because my designer card is all in reds and oranges and yellows, and suddenly I've got blue and green on here. So it is going to look very different to what I first saw in my head. But that's okay. The surprise element, right? Now this is a large area, so I'm needing a bit more oil on my nib to keep the color moving. So I go backwards and forwards, keep blending all the way along. As a matter of fact, no, stop messing about. No, I am going to mess about. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. Oh, decisions. I am going to mess around, actually. Why not, right? To be honest, we're almost at the end. I don't know how long I've spent on this already. I mean, considering on some days we have spent over a couple of hours making these tags. This is what I mean by messing around. I'm using number 13 to go over the blue. I know it's going to give me a completely weird color. I have no idea what color this is going to about to turn into. I'm probably going to regret what I've just done. But to be honest, this is actually how I normally work, which is I make it up as I go along. And yeah, I think very occasionally I regret what I did, because it's always a surprise. And by the time you put designer papers and things behind, it does look pretty. And just the line art is just always just so beautiful from all the designs that I think a lot of the times I don't notice my oopsies. Sorry, I'm trying to look for a nib. I wasn't sure whether I want to blend using the blue nib or blend using the brown nib. But I think I'm going to go with the brown nib, simply because it is going to go brown, isn't it? Well, it's going to go purple, actually. So I see a vision in my head and I think, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And then I'll have started with best of intentions to do that. And then suddenly I'll go and change my mind. And by the time I finish, it looks completely different to what I wanted it to look like. Actually, it's got two tones. It's got the bluey as well as the brown happening. Like I said to you guys, I have no idea what's going to happen here. I think you're going to be just as surprised as I am. Because there's parts that are going sort of very strange brown. You know, it's not until you start blending two colors together that you realize that all the pencils have other pigment colors in them. And when you blend them, it introduces those pigments as well. A bit like, I don't know if some of you have seen the brushos. Those are always a nice surprise. You know, you pick the red, you spray the water onto your card. You sprinkle a bit of brusho on it, and the colors that turn up, it's just absolutely amazing. How many colors are on, you know, each little pot. Okay, I'm not sure actually I like that. I'm not sure that was a nice surprise for me. I think I need to blend it just a bit more with the blue along here. I've just changed my nib basically to the blue. Yes, I am making a mess. That's okay. I'm hoping it will all work out. You know, I'm actually quite scared to turn this one around and look at it. I'm still not sure about this green. One more thing, sorry, just bear with me. And I'm going to change my green. I'm going to put B6 just very lightly over the top to change that green a little bit. Like I said, this is literally how I work when I'm on my own, which probably doesn't work very well as a workshop then, does it? Because if you're just starting off, I am probably really confusing all of you at this point. Yeah, that's a nicer green, isn't it? I think my drop of oil on my spot on sponge has dried a bit, so, but I'm done, so I don't want to put another drop on. There we go. Oh, that's a much nicer green, isn't it? One last thing I forgot to do is, you know, like I mentioned about the brown on the between the double outlines. So you can use your ruler to go in there, or oh, my brown is dying. My brown is dying. Will the thick end work? It's dried. Oh, that's okay. That's better. Oopsie daisy. I didn't want to go on that side, but it's okay. So I'm just coloring between the double outline. I think I need to shop for felt pens. I love felt pens. I mean, these are, like I said, my go-to felt pens. But as soon as, you know, any company introduces new felt pens, I'm buying them. Most of them are brand new. I haven't even opened them, but I'll buy them, which is really bad. I love felt pens and watercolors. I've got so many watercolors. I don't even get around to using them all. Forget all. I don't get around to using most. So I'm really focusing on staying in the lines. I should have probably used just a ruler, because then I could have just gone straight up and down, then doing it this way. This is the last bit of coloring, and then we can put it together. How is everyone doing? You guys have probably all finished actually, because I just fiddled a lot, didn't I? Do you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do the rings around there. See, here, I forgot to do those rings. Emboss them, I mean, when I was embossing the tag. And isn't the Groovi system great? Because I'm going to get my tag die. I'm sorry, otherwise I won't be able to sleep at night if I don't do this. And I'm going to emboss those circles around the tag. There we go. I should probably stick it down with the tabs. Sorry, my sleeve's in the way, but there we go. You get the general idea, right? Because I like those rings, and I'm going to color that. I will show you on the front. You know, I know you can see me going all over on the white outlines. It will be fine on the front. I'm just hoping when I turn it around, the colors I've used for the landscape is okay, and everything's not going to look a bit very odd. Okay, how are we doing? Are we doing okay? Are we ready to turn this round? Oh, I see, I keep forgetting I've stuck it down to stop the spotlight. Well, to stop me seeing the spotlights. Oopsie daisy. Okay, let's put this there. Let's put this there. There's my tag backing. I'm going to turn the light wave off. Oh, there you go. Okay, how are we doing? Actually, that doesn't look too bad. I mean, I'm not sure about that blue. Seriously, I'm just absolutely petrified of turning this round. Okay, I am going to turn it around, so. Ta-da! Oh, let's show you without first. There you go. So you can see, even though, you know, in lots of places I went over the white outlines, on the front, it is absolutely fine, right? I'm going to put it over that, and now you can see the blue completely changes, you know, from this blue to when you put it on the backing paper. The whole thing looks a lot warmer because of the backing paper. Should I use a, you know, if I change my backing paper, let's show you a few. So, you know, if I go with the landscape sort of colors, I don't know. Say if I cut my tag from this one, can you see it? It looks different again. Every time you change your backing paper, it is going to look very different. So that's that one. That one is this. The orange was this, because now I'm not sure what I want to go with. See, I quite like this. But then I know, you know, I have to get up and dig out my cutting machine and everything to use this. I'm just going to stick with the orange one because I want to show you how to put it all together. But, you know, no harm done. If at home, for example, you can change your mind, even though you may have cut your tag from the backing paper, because you can use it another time. It's not a problem. You know, you can always put it on different colors and see whether you prefer something different, because sometimes you've used the colors, you've seen it in your head in a certain way, and you think, yeah, that'll look great, you know, but then in the end you think, oh, I don't know, maybe not. But have a play, have a see. This is not wasted. You will be able to use it at another time. I am going to go with the orange because I really felt like happy colors, and for me these are happy colors, and it's all nice and warm, and you know, I want to be here. So I'm going to stick to the plan. Now before I one more thing, before I put it all together, I want to put glitter on my work. I add glitter before I mount my work, because sometimes if you've got pico cutting and all that and you mount your work and then put the glitter, all the glitter gets stuck in between the brads and things, for example. So I like to do it before I mount my work, but there isn't, you know, a right or a wrong. You put glitter whenever you want. If you're putting glitters, I know some of you don't like glitter, and that is absolutely fine as well. You know, you don't need to add it. I'm using sticky ink with my mapping pen. Once again, the mapping pen, you know, the holders are out of stock at the moment, but they will be in stock soon, and I will show you when they come back. So that's a mapping pen, and they'll come in a packet like this. All you would do is you would take that out, turn it around and slot it back in, and there's your pen. You can see I've got glitter even on my holder. Now they're out of stock. What works really well is as well a quickie glue pen. And you know, if I don't need very fine work, I do tend to use this as well a lot. So it just depends, you know. I know some of you may have this, so you can use a quickie glue pen. But I'm going to go with the sticky ink. So with the sticky ink, because once they're in stock, I know that, you know, a lot of you have been waiting for them and you'll want to know how to use it. So there's the pen. I'm going to dip it into the ink and just show you. That's about as much as you need. You don't need a lot, just a tiny amount. I'm going to put that out of the way, and I am going to decide where you want to put glitter. So I'm going to put glitter. I'm wondering, do I want glitter on my... Am I wasting? How are we doing for time? Do we have time? Because I know I want to put glitter in a lot of places. No, let's not fiddle. I can always add it. See, it wasn't flowing, so I've just pressed it a tiny bit until I get those little dots. I don't know if you can see. And now I know it's flowing. So I'm just coloring it in. And you're going to wait, and it's not flowing. I haven't used my mapping pen in a while. So the ink on top of it, the glue on top of it has sort of become sticky, and I'm really bad at cleaning my mapping pen. I'm just pressing it a bit to get it to flow. There we go, that's a bit better. I mean, don't press too hard, otherwise you will bend the nibs. Just a tiny amount so that you can see the ink flow. I want a little bit there. Do I want on these circles? Why not? See, now that it's flowing, it's not an issue. It's just the initial. And as a matter of fact, the initial you should actually do on a scrap piece, not like me on the actual work. So I am on the hard side of the mat again. So just decide where you want the glitter, and just draw with the... Am I going off screen? You know, every now and then it hits me that... hold on, I seem to be very far off from where I was. basically I've just put it all over the, wherever there's circles. I was going to, which I'm not going to at the moment, I was going to put on the mountaintops. This little circle there. Yeah, okay. So I've got a bit of, I don't know if you can see it, a bit of the ink there. I can't, that's not going to go back in the pot. I'm going to let that dry, and generally what I tend to do is once it's completely dry and clear, I pick it off, it comes off. The other thing you can do is you can wash it under the tap and, you know, take off it becomes tacky. So you can pull it off, you can use baby wipes to clean it. If you're using anything wet, make sure you take the nib off and let it dry completely before you put it away, because otherwise the nib will rust. Yeah. So, but like I said, I am super lazy. I just wait for it to go completely clear and it becomes tacky, and then I just pull the sticky bits off. Okay, I need to put it somewhere where I'm not going to make a complete mess. Okay, so once you've got the glue, you can see in some places it is still not gone clear. You need to wait for that to go clear before you put the glitter on. I think I may have got it a bit heavy there, but that's okay. I'll just close this in the meantime and put that out of the way. And while that is going clear, I'm going to move that out of the way, give it a couple of seconds. So I'm going to use the Perga glitter. It comes in 6 colors, hint of green, hint of blue, hint of pink. You've got the hint of gold, hint of copper, and hint of silver. I think I'm going to go with hint of copper for this one. Well, I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to get a piece of card. Now, the Perga glitter is anti-static, which is great. So, you know, you're not going to get it absolutely everywhere. I'm going to just put it on all over. Yeah. Shake off the excess. And give it a tap. Can you see? It just comes off. I need to tap it a bit more, and the rest will fall off too. And then the rest can go back in the pot. I'm going to drop it. I know I'm going to drop it. I'll do that later. We don't want to drop the whole pot of glitter. I mean, I wouldn't mind. It would look very pretty, to be honest. But I'm just going to tap the extra off. As you can hear. You see? Pretty, pretty glitter. Okay, time to put it together. I've got it. I did manage to drop it quite a bit, didn't I? Okay, let's put it together. Now, to put it together, I'm using breads and I'm using sequins. I know some of you have been looking forward to seeing my sequins box, which is somewhere. And I was very generous. I gave a lot to my sister, grudgingly, might I add, very grudgingly. So from what some of you might remember my box to look like with sequins to what it is now, it's very little. So this is my happy box. So I have got some in packets, all sorts of colors, which I am not going to open at the moment. Well, I could, I guess, but I think I've got colors here that I can use. And where did I put it? I'm going to put it there. But look at this. Look, 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 look. If you remember, how little is this? Who says I need more? Me? She says, oh, sprinkling glitter. This is my happy box. I can, just quite happily do this all the time and feel happy. but I'm going to pick sequins. You don't need sequins. For me, it's just I love to add the little sequins on there. I'm thinking orange maybe. That's a pretty color. I think I'll go with that. This is why we need lots of colors of sequins, because then you can choose. Oh, I just found a copper one, but do I have more copper? Where's it gone? Oh, look. Which one? This copper or this? I don't know. That's tiny, mind you. Let's just one more. The problem with my sequins is they're not anti-static, so they stick to everything. Wouldn't it be good if you had anti-static sequins? That would be so great. Okay, so you don't need sequins, like I said, but I am going to use it because I think it is very pretty. And the other thing is how to attach it. For me, generally, whenever I attach my parchment to my card, I use brads more often than not. Any wet glue will make your parchment buckle, so avoid, well, just don't use wet glue to attach this. And also, if you have a dark cardstock underneath your clear parchment, the glue will show, whether it is tape runner, double-sided tape, no matter what, it will show. So if you have dark cardstock, that is one thing you need to remember is, you know, the glue will show. So brads, to be honest, is the safest things to use, and they look very pretty. So Clarity has brads in black, gold, silver, copper, you know, various selection. I think the pastels at the moment are out of stock, but will be in stock soon. So do look out for them. I'm just wondering where I want to put my sequence to. I'm not sure where I want it. I want it there. Okay, I want one there, I want one there, and I want one maybe up there. So that is how I'm going to put my sequence there. If you don't have the 3 sequins, for example, you can use maybe just brads. I think one up there would work. No, actually put it on either side of your writing or on the diagonals here. Yes, 2 diagonals, and that will work. So if you know, you can put your brads on those ends just to hold the parchment to the thingamajig, to the, yeah, need to learn my words better. So I know I want one there, so I'm going to use a pokey tool, make a hole there. I've got a gold brad and I'm going to poke it in there. I'm poking the holes over my old Groovi mat, but you can use anything soft. Do not use your embossing mat in your starter kit because you don't want that to have holes for when you're embossing. So use you know, a sponge, anything that has a bit of depth that you can make a hole through. There. I think once you've done a couple, then you can move it around and see where else you want to put it. Just go with that. Stop fiddling, Tina. There we go. Okay, let's move that. So I'm going to just push those in. Push those in, push those in. Turn the mat. Oopsie daisy, sorry. Turn it round to the back and open those. I think there's some people call them split pins as well. So there we go, pretty. And then the final bit, if I can find the backing, there we go. So can you see on the back, we can see these brads. I need to cover that, so I'm going to cover that on there. So I want my tape runner, which I have put somewhere. Where did I put the tape runner? Oh, life is great. Oh, yeah. That sounded sarcastic, didn't it, when I said life is great? That didn't, with a big sigh. I wasn't being sarcastic, actually. It just came out the way I said it, which is really sad. Because you know what? It could be a lot worse, and it's not. It's a lot better than it could be. So something to be grateful about and thankful. So I'm using just the tape runner, the Clarity tape runner, roller tape, to just go around the back of the backing card and put some, there we go. Okay, and then to stick that, now, am I going to get it straight before? So what I tend to do is I like to hold them like this, bring them, so before I press it, I'm going to just, yes, I don't know if you can see, I'm just holding it before I press them together. I'm just making sure they're lined up, and then I'll slowly start pressing from the edges before I turn it around, before I press. And there we go. So there's my tag, and now we need some ribbon, or I've got this, what is it called? Raffia? Is that what it's called? And I'm going to string that here, and just basically, I'm going to just tie a knot. Am I going to tie a knot? Yeah. Or do I want to do a loop thingamajig? Do I want to do a loop thingamajig? See, you can just tie a knot, or you can do a loopy thing. That doesn't sound very right, does it? A loopy thing like this. I'm sure it's easier with ribbon because you don't have so many little individual strands, but I think the loopy thing works too. Except it's stuck somewhere. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh yeah, I like the loopy thing. And definitely ribbon would have been easier. But there we go. I'm just pulling because it's individual strands of this, just to make sure that it's all there. And you know what? I am going to actually tie a knot too, so that it doesn't get undone. Can't be too careful now, can you, with these things? Well, you can, but just to make sure my loops are not going to get undone. Because, you know, I'm really bad. I don't know about you guys. Do you put your projects nice and neatly somewhere? I'm really bad. I tend to throw things, once I'm done with something, I just tend to throw things wherever, to be found, you know, months or years later, all crumpled and creased and everything. And there we go. There's the tag. Let's move this to here. So where's the other tag? And you can see how, you know, it changes the look completely from what I started with originally, which was here, to this one with the landscape, you know, rather than the flowers. But it's an alternative, and you know, it was just a case of just play, basically just play. You may have other plates, you know, in your collection, and you may think, okay, maybe I want to put that in here. You know, a butterfly in there would look great, coming off the side this way, that would look great. And there is the card version of it. Yeah, so 3 versions there for to play with colors and things, but all different colors, so pinks and purples and, you know, pastels to autumny sort of colors, so lots of things. Now, before I say bye to everyone, definitely thank you for your company. I started off super nervous, and I'm feeling definitely a lot calmer now and relaxed, which is great. I'll probably start off exactly the same next time, where I'll be in a complete panic and everything. But let me tell you, for next month, I definitely know what I'm going to be doing, what plates I'm going to be using. So if you want to join me, then you may want this one here, which is from the Kiss range. I will put it, once I create the event, I'll definitely put down the codes and everything on there. But some of you may have this already. It's the Kiss range of the Groovi plates. I'm using this one here. I am using Josie's embossed pattern plate. Don't ask me what I'm doing with them. I don't know that. I haven't thought that far. But so any of the embossed pattern plates, you know, if you have one of them, I'm going to be using that. And obviously my base is going to be a tag. Yours could be, you know, just a card. That is absolutely fine too. But these are the two plates we will use. I will do a bit of picot cutting for that one. Because I think I know what I want to do. I'm just not sure basically of what I'm going to do. So that is for next month, which will be the second Saturday. Second Saturday, is that what I said? Yeah, the second Saturday of the month. I don't know, sorry. I don't know what date that is. I didn't look up dates. So yeah, but the second Saturday, I'll create the event page. Yeah, hopefully some of you or all of you can join me, and that would be great. I've had a really nice time and I've really missed doing this. I will go back and read everyone's comments. You know, I'm still not good at looking up. I think if I looked up and started reading comments as well, I'd probably forget what I was trying to say or do. I'm very good at that. So if you have questions, definitely do pop them into the comments, and I'll try to answer those as much as I can. Thank you, Sue. So the Saturday is 11th March. You will see that the Kiss range of the Groovi plates are ones that I will be bringing out to play with a lot, because I just absolutely love it. And you get such pretty results with them. Instant results, but pretty. So thank you, Leslie. Yes, it's 11th March. Yeah, sequins, for those who don't have sequins, shop. Sequins are pretty. We need sequins. And that's about it, I think. Hopefully I've not missed saying anything. If I have, then sorry. But do put your questions into the comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been a pleasure. Take care, everyone. Bye.